So just a quick introduction of myself and who we are, and then I'm going to introduce our guests, and we're going to get started pretty quickly. But welcome to everybody who's joined us today. We are the BEONAIR network of media schools, which are 7 schools located. Well, we have the Ohio Media School, the Illinois Media School, Colorado Media School, as well as Miami Media School. We have designed this webinar for our students and our graduates, and really anybody else who happens to see this up on social media that would like to learn more about the topics, the engaging topics that really help everybody to grow and to learn how to network and to really find success in those areas that they're interested in as it relates to media. We've been rolling with this now for the last couple of months now, and we're really happy with the results. We have a nice little following, and we welcome you if it's your first time in. Before I get to the introductions, I do want to let you know that this is recorded. And so for those of you who are going to join us on YouTube, maybe seeing this after today, we do want to let you know to take a second to like and subscribe. I've always wanted to say that. It's so much fun to say that. So please like us and subscribe. Our webinar today is going to be recorded as segments. So as you're watching, please make sure to click on the pop-up link towards the end of each segment to launch the next video. We know that you will find this webinar to be informative and engaging, and so we hope that you're going to follow it maybe for a second time, because I know we're going to be learning a lot today, and there might be some things that you forget about or you want to brush up on. I'm not going to encourage you to take notes unless you feel that you'd like to do that, because of course you can go back to YouTube, and we'd like you all to join us in that arena as well. So for general housekeeping, we are going to ask if you mute your microphones. This is a really unique opportunity that we offer you because you are going to be up close to our guest and our moderator. You're going to have a chance to listen. There's a chat. If you look at the top of the toolbar, you'll see a little circle like a bubble. As we're going through, if you have some questions, we recommend that you put those into the chat, and we're going to moderate that. And as Phillip is going along, he's going to take a couple of breaks, and he's going to ask, if you have a question, if it's in there, he's going to certainly ask of Edgar. So microphones off, and if you're moving around, we really ask you that you turn your video off as well. But, for anybody that has ever had an opportunity to be a speaker in the virtual world, it's always wonderful when the cameras are on and we get to see who's there and their engagement so that we can help them to grow and to learn. So that is the housekeeping. We're happy to have you here. I'm going to introduce you first to our moderator, Phillip Bufford, who is here on the screen. Phillip, you look terrific today. It's nice to have you here. It looks like you're in a sunny veranda, but I'm not really sure about that. But anyhow, Phillip is one of our amazing instructors on our campus. He's the owner of Unplugged Magazine, a fashion and entertainment print and digital publication. He also owns Schoolboy Films, which is a film production company. He's published over 13 books and many videos. He's really a very accomplished guy, and we're so happy. Part of what we do on the BEONAIR network is that we have instructors on campus who are professionals in the industry, who are really able to help to move our students along to become successful graduates. So Phillip as our moderator, and then we have the wonderful Edgar Garcia joining us from beautiful Florida, lucky for him, where the sun is shining. And he is also another very, very accomplished man. Not only is he a fabulous instructor down in Miami, our students are so fortunate to have him, but Edgar has a voice that's really been heard all around Latin America, and in the States, you can hear his voice in many, many different areas. He's an established journalism, voiceover, copyright, media guy. And if you have a chance to sit with Edgar, which you're going to have today, you're going to find him to be extremely knowledgeable, not only about voiceover, but how to brand yourself, how to move yourself forward, and how to find success in this category that so many of our students and graduates look forward to finding employment. So you are very fortunate today, everybody that's joined us. We say thank you. You are going to be treated to a great hour of entertainment and learning And when you're done with this, I feel pretty certain that you're going to have a good launching spot for yourself as you move towards voiceover and voiceover talent. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you to Phillip and to our guest, Edgar, and we're going to look forward to all we have to learn. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Linda.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get this party started. And again, my name is Phillip Bufford. I'll be your facilitator for today. And we have the infamous, dynamic, fragilistic, expialidocious Edgar Garcia. What's going on, Edgar?
What's up, Phillip?
Man, it's
great to have you here with me. And I think we're gonna do a very nice team here with you and me, with the Q&A thing that we're gonna be doing. So pretty excited to get started. So here I am.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you since I was in Miami last time.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. A couple of housekeeping that's already been discussed, but just a quick reminder, we're going to be asking questions. And then as we ask questions, then I'm going to take a break. And if you have questions in the chat, by all means, put your questions in the chat. And then that way I can call you. When we call you, make sure you ask your question and then stop talking so that Edgar can answer. We'll allow you to ask a question and we'll allow you to ask a follow-up. And then after that, we're going to move on to the next person. So make sure you have your question ready. And when we call you, ask it and then mute your microphone. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. Edgar, thank you again so much for being here. And the first thing we want to ask you is, how did you get into this voiceover acting career in the first place?
I'm going to have to warn you, Phillip, that you're going to have to, interject at times, because if not, this thing is going to go over an hour easily. I have that tendency, so beware of that, So how did I get into this business? Basically, it's a matter of, I thought about it once when I was 14 years old. My voice changed. I'm more or less kind of the same story. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who Don LaFontaine was. He was called the voice of God. He was the guy that coined the phrase "in a world." In every movie trailer that you saw, well, Don LaFontaine and I have a very similar story. It is the fact that I was, walking one day from my school to my home, and suddenly I was, trying to talk like a radio person, but my voice was kind of changing, and suddenly it was, boom, this big voice, and where the hell did this come from, Everybody told me that you got to be on the radio, but that's not enough, Yeah, I have the voice, but do I have the training? I didn't think so. So I started training myself, and when the time came and I got the call for an audition for a big station back in Venezuela where I began my career, that was the moment when I did the audition. By sheer luck, there was a voiceover there that was basically out sick, and he was going to be out sick for a number of months. So here was I at the right spot at the right time, and that's how I got into radio easily. But staying there was the difficult part. We'll get to that later on.
All right. So, as a broadcaster, how were your beginnings in radio, and how did you really find yourself getting on air?
Getting on air was a tricky thing. I think that if I'm not mistaken, I've been doing this for 34 years now. And when I began, it was really tough because I had no prior training. I was just thrown in a studio, red lights come on, and you're on air. And I didn't have a clue. Let me tell you guys something. It was my first time in my life that I was inside a radio station. I had no idea how a show worked, how the production worked, how the equipment worked, but I was thrown in the studio and I had to do it. So it took me a while to understand how the processes that, were done in a station until I got kind of, the feel of things and started feeling a little bit more comfortable as I went. But it took me some time. And that's something that I always tell people, and I tell my students every time. This takes time and it takes a lot of patience, because to get to the place that you want to be and be competitive as a voiceover, for example, it's going to take you some time, and it's probably going to take you years. And I'm not going to lie on that. you need a lot of prep, and it took me a while. But I think that with the technologies that we have nowadays, this is something that's going to be easier for you guys now, because before, when and again, guys, 3 decades back, things were completely different. So I come from the analog radio world, then transitioned to the digital world, and then on to the internet world, which is, every transition requires a different set of skills. And it took me, a number of years to master those because of what we had back then. Nowadays, I think the prep for a voiceover should be something, quicker, that it happens in a quicker fashion.